It's Ultimate Combat Radio, brought to you by Aztec Highway on 1280 and 97.5 The Zone.
Dagger.
Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here, talking some mixed martial arts on 1280 The Zone. The segment is brought to you by Aztec Highway. Get it your way at the Highway WDFA. Now, Aztec Highway's got all kinds of cool stuff over there for your Christmas shopping needs. Now, Brandon, I understand you have some products yourself in Aztec Highway for sale.
I do. They are the sole exclusive retailer of the Fight Core t-shirt line at Aztec Highway, which was started here by me in Salt Lake City and has done very well over there.
That's pretty darn cool because, you know, I think they are, and I don't know if they're exclusive with, but I mean they're certainly one of the better retail outlets for Metal Militia and some pretty big names in apparel. So that's pretty cool. It's a great marriage.
It's awesome. It has been a good marriage. You know, I've had a couple other small retail shops talk about bringing in a little bit of stuff to try, and I've just thought, you know, Aztec's been good to me, and they've been doing the radio campaign, and we've worked well together. I'm just going to stick with them until somebody offers me $1 million. Then I'm selling out and I'm gone.
Well, I think Chris was going to offer you $1 million, so hold out for that, bro.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well,
he was going to offer what? Much more.
Yeah. Our poll question is, what are you thankful for as it relates to mixed martial arts? And if you had one Christmas wish in mixed martial arts, what would it be? So who better to ask that than the guy himself, Brandon Kiser?
Oh, man. I when I saw that poll question, I started writing down stuff like crazy because I have a lot of gratitude for a lot of things in MMA. It's really shaped my whole life, you know. I mean,
one call, Shai.
My whole my business is based around MMA. So a couple of things that came to mind. I had a chance to train with Billy Robinson, who is a catch wrestling superstar, living legend from England. And
would you say he is the most, whether it be prominent or most knowledgeable? Where would you rank him? Because I know you train with a lot of guys. I mean, you've been around a little bit. You're like my old girlfriend. You've been around a lot. But where would you rank that, and why does that come to mind as one of your biggest things you're thankful for?
I have trained with a lot of good people. Probably, you know, the majority of the biggest names in the training world of MMA, and Billy Robinson, the top of the world. I mean, hands down, from a whole nother level. Amazing. He taught me how to learn. He taught me how to teach, and he taught me these little details that were just like magic. And it reminds me a lot of hearing guys like Professor Pedro Sauer talk about what it was like learning from Haleo and Hickson. Right. Is how I would describe my experience with Billy Robinson. And that was a really special experience because it's extremely expensive, and the guy's very hard to get to because he's either teaching people in Japan or he's teaching people in England. You know, he's not real accessible to, you know, a young guy like myself in Salt Lake. So
when you say expensive, I heard kind of what they were charging for that kind of stuff. It was pretty expensive.
Yeah,
more than I make.
It's expensive. Well worth it if you can afford it.
Right.
But having that opportunity, and also, you know, I don't know how to put it exactly, but I mean, the guy's very old, and he teaches completely, you know, pretty much from the sidelines. He's not in a position to really get on the mat and do these things to you. So his teaching has to be so detail oriented and specific because it's all verbal, you know, and through Jake Shannon, you know, applying these things. So that definitely came to mind. Another thing is just Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in general. That was the first thing I ever saw that made me feel like as an average to smaller size human being, I could beat up anybody. And that's what really led me down the path of MMA. It was like, man, I tried a couple boxing classes and I got my face punched in, and I was like, this isn't the answer. This isn't what I want to spend my life doing. And when I tried a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu class, I was like, this is awesome. So
I was talking about that with my son today. He's got a friend that's, a little nerdy.
One call.
But he's super into jiu-jitsu, and it's that thing that equalizes the playing field for a nerdy guy. Exactly. That, you know what, he could twist your arm off, and you better be nice to the nerdy guy nowadays. I understand we got a caller, so I want to take the caller. But Brandon, I'm going to get back to you on that because I don't want to miss what this guy has to say.
No, we never want to miss what Shai has to say.
Shai is on the line. Shai, Shai, how are you, man?
How are you? Good.
Well, Shai, we've already established how I am. How are you?
Oh, I'm great.
So what would be something you're thankful for as it relates to mixed martial arts?
Just that, you know, just how everything's gone so big. You know, I remember back, like 10 years ago or more, you'd have to order stuff from magazines and, you know, order your videos and have one MMA event like every 6 months.
And you were a big fan back then, right? I mean, this was your sport of choice back when that was all happening like that.
Oh yeah, as soon as I saw my first UFC in '94, man, I was obsessed, man. I'm obsessive compulsive, so that's good,
Sure.
So
it helps in a lot of arenas and maybe a little detrimental in some, but so now you've seen this sport grow, and so now it's gotten so much more accessible. Do you feel like that's kind of taken away, because this used to be your own private little playground,
Yeah, I feel exactly like that. I think a lot of people feel like that, and stuff gets mainstream, like skateboarding, snowboarding, all that. Like, back when it was all underground and a select few knew about it, and it wasn't all mainstream and freaking, like, it's like I really miss it, and it was great, but, since it's gotten big, it's like I said, we have a lot more opportunities to watch events, and, but I thought I liked it better when it was all underground, man, myself.
I've been online, and I found some underground fight clubs here locally. I'm going to have to turn you on to some of those. Maybe you can go check them out.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, there are some. I'll tell you about them off the air. But what would be a wish on your wish list? What is something you'd like to see happen in mixed martial arts?
I'd like to see more like, maybe Pride rules for one. Maybe like tournaments in the UFC, like Pride used to have. I'd like to see that. So are you talking about the one event tournaments, that kind of thing? Yeah, or maybe like, a step, maybe have like an elimination tournament that takes place over like a couple events, Yeah. I like those. I think you're going to see some of that coming back. Strikeforce just did their big heavyweight tournament, and if you really think about it, that's kind of what the UFC's doing now. They just haven't called it a heavyweight Grand Prix, but they've got this group of heavyweights that they think are all pretty good, and they're kind of one after the next, putting them with one another. I think Lesnar's fighting Overeem coming up. The winner of that's going to fight, the winner of the Dos Santos Velasquez fight. Obviously, that's Dos Santos, but and then obviously Josh Barnett's got to be thrown into the mix at some point. So that's kind of what's happening now. They're just not doing it all in one day. You want to bring it all back to a one-day event, though. I don't know about the one-day event. I mean, it's great, but that's just tough. You got the injuries, and it's tough to fight more than one fight a night. I don't think necessarily the best fighter is always going to win those. It's just a matter of could be injuries. There's so many variables that sometimes the best guy is not going to come out on top. Right. That's why I like it. And like if you break it up that way, like. A fighter's 100% for each bout, Yeah. Well, anything else you want to add? Yeah, Billy Robinson's the man, that guy's with his freaking, he's got his crutch, teaching techniques. That guy's that guy's awesome, I've just had the opportunity to watch a little bit of videotape of him, and it seems very intense, first of all, and then, just obviously just what a privilege to be in with a legend like that. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yes. All right, Shai, well, thanks for calling in, man. You're not Martin Kampman, but you're pretty darn close. Thank you. All right, buddy. Brandon, I'm sorry we had to interrupt you with that, but he brought the heat tonight. I'll take a back seat to Shai any day on the show. All right, where were we with you? Well, telling you what I'm thankful for. I'll finish off the list real quick. Obviously, Wilbur Nelson and Eric Paulson, because they were the ones who, I was inspired by the UFC and the Hoist Gracies of the world, but they were the ones that kind of brought it into my own reality. And can you talk about that a little bit? Because you and Brian Yamasaki own a gym up in North Salt Lake. How was that? How did that relationship develop into you having your own gym and that kind of thing? How did that happen? Oh, man, I was training at this place called the Muay Thai Institute, and thankfully the greatest thing ever happened to me. I left that place, got away from it, and found a guy named Wilbur Nellis who started training me in Thai boxing and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and in walked this young Japanese fellow one day and said he wanted to fight. And back in those days, not many people fought, and it was kind of a tradition reserved for like the best people of the gym. It was like your best guys fought all week long, and whoever was the champion of your gym really represented your gym, because like Shai was saying, back then there was maybe an MMA event once a year. So for somebody to walk in off the street and say, I want to fight and represent this gym, their first week there was almost offensive. Those are bold words. Yeah. So Wilbur Nellis pulled me aside and he said, hey, you see that little guy over there shadow boxing in the corner? He said, I want you to kick the crap out of that guy. And so I did, man. I beat Yamasaki down, man. Week after week, I kept beating him up, and Will just kept saying, put it on him, put it on him. He's not going to last. And then the dude just kept coming back, and we ended up becoming friends. And one day he said, how would you like to buy my gym in Bountiful? And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, I have a gym in Bountiful, but these students,
they'll make me very angry. I'll use those words. And so you just buy my gym, and I said, well, let's go check it out. And I went out there, and he had some strengths that I didn't have, and we really balanced each other out well. And he is on my list of things I'm thankful for in the world of MMA. Is
Nice.
12 years ago, we made that partnership, and here we are 12 years later, still going strong. And
That was literally the case of if you can't beat him, join him.
yeah, exactly.
That was awesome.
So we came together, and Mushin's going strong 12 years later, and
Very nice.
It's been a great journey. And then last but certainly not least is Mike Stidham, the Ultimate Combat Experience. As a result of that, Yamasaki and I have got to spend many weekends sleeping in
Away
our
from your
own
families.
beds, yet having a place to give our fighters professional fight experience right here in our own backyard, week after week. Without the UC, we could train a guy
Traveling all
for
the
6
time.
months
Yeah.
just to
Cam
find
Tull's on
out
the
that
line.
his opponent cancels at the last minute, and we're left without a fight.
Tuller.
But with with your show, it's like if something falls through within a couple weeks, we can get another fight put back together, and not only that, for my own personal situation, it's like I've got radio and TV experience as a result of this, met a lot of great people, and your show itself has also been the great feeder of our gym. I mean, I can't tell you how many people have walked through our door as a result of seeing Mike Stidham's Ultimate Combat Experience and wanting to participate in that. So
Been a fun ride, hasn't it?
So thank you. I
Yeah, you
appreciate
gotta
that.
appreciate that. Well, I understand. This is, again, I don't know what's happening around here, but we have another caller.
Oh, wow.
And this is a caller, there's a name that I recognize as well. Cameron Tuller, I believe. Cameron, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys doing tonight?
I didn't know you listened to the show, Cameron.
I try to listen to it every Friday, you guys.
Oh, buddy.
That is awesome to hear. How you been?
I've been good. Out of town, but doing good.
I was going to say, the better question is, where have you been? What are you doing out of town?
I'm in Moab, jeeping, having a good time
Oh,
for
good for you.
Thanksgiving.
Hey,
Wow.
where was our invite for that, Cam? We
Yeah.
could do a remote.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime. I'm ready for it anytime.
Well, good. Cameron, what would you say that you're thankful for as it relates to mixed martial arts?
Well, I have to say both of you guys are great. I've met both of you guys as a friend and worked with both of you. I think you guys are great for the sport. I don't think there's anybody out there better than you two in Utah, what Mike's done, what Brandon's done. I'm grateful for it. Everybody got to watch it every week. I think that's the best thing that we've had in Utah.
Well, I'll be honest with you. This is not kind of the direction I saw this conversation going when I made these questions up, because that's not really, I was thinking more kind of big picture, but it's really awfully flattering, especially from a guy like you. You're a nice guy, Cameron. I really appreciate that.
Well, it's true, though. I'm not just saying. I mean, the sport wouldn't be where it's at today if it wasn't for the show. If
Well,
it wasn't for the show and everybody to watch that every week.
Well, since
It's
we don't
watched
have
by
that
every
anymore,
week.
what's on your wish list? What would you like to see happen in the next year?
I would like to see it back again.
Okay,
Let's get it
well,
back.
Second that one.
Well, Cameron Tuller, I'm going to have to buy you a Christmas card now or something.
No, it would be good because there's a lot of people out there that like seeing that every week. It was good. It got everybody to watch mixed martial arts. It was good for Utah. I don't think Utah would be on the map if it wasn't for you, Mike.
Well, Cameron, I really appreciate it once again. And you guys be careful coming back from Moab and have a great time down there.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks for calling, man. Well, that's
Great.
awesome.
That makes my night, man.
What the heck's going on around here?
Let's come up with more poll questions that encourage people to call in and say how
nice
awesome
thing.
we are.
Let's do that. All right. Well, we're still working on getting Martin Kentman on the line. And if that doesn't happen next segment, we're going to have the Colbert Report. You don't want to miss it. We got more Aztec Highway's Ultimate Combat Radio when we come back.